Alright guys, Brad Greenfield back here again for another one of our Excel 2013 video trainings. Today we're going to talk about doing some formatting and conditional formatting in Excel. Now this is something that will help if you got a large amount of data and you want to sort through it really quick, or give some visual indicators as to how things are going. And there's no way that we could cover all of the formatting options here, and I'm going to go through a couple of those and point out a couple of neat things and go into some conditional formatting. But first of all, I just want to start out and let you know that there are, and this data is just stuff that I made up on the fly, just something to give an example as we work through some of these things. Just came up with some names and schools, dates, and whatnot. So I just want to show you how many options are available for condition or for formatting. So I'm going to click on this cell here in B2 and do a right click and go to Format Cells. Now when we look at our options here, there's so many different options that we have at formatting. Changing the text, and we've gone through some of this stuff: fonts, adding borders, filling with some colors, even protecting some of the cells, which we'll get into later. But even under the number section, there's the general number. We can change how we want that displayed. Currency, accounting, dates, we can alter dates. Time, several different ways that we could do time. Percentage, and we can tell how many decimal places we need to be. Fractions. Scientific formatting, just general text formatting. Some special formatting, zip codes plus the 4 additional numbers at the end. Phone numbers, social security numbers. That's something that we'll go into here later in this session here, specifically with phone numbers, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. And then some custom. There's so many custom things that you can do here. Just a ton of stuff, and honestly, this is going to take just playing with some of this. So I don't want to. There's no way we could spend all the time in the world going through all of these, but I just wanted you guys to see that there were several options there to go through, and we'll play with. There's one aspect about the date that I really want to play with and show you what that looks like. So we'll jump right in here with just some formatting here of the first thing that we're going to look at is this date, and we are going to look at the formatting. This is just a cool thing that I thought was really a neat way to go about looking at dates. And that's to add the specific day of the week. So we've got the month, the day, and the year. So 6/9/2014, but maybe it's a situation where you need to know what day of the week that was for whatever reason it may be. So I am going to right click on here and go to Format Cells. And as I just showed you, there's a ton of options that we have here in dealing with this. So we have different options available for us. This one option here is what I'm actually wanting to show. So it's showing us that June 9th was actually on a Monday. So if I click on that OK, and it has an asterisk here, and it'll tell us down here that date formats that begin with an asterisk respond to changes in regional date and time settings that are specific with their operating system. So if you were to travel overseas and things like that, these dates may not mean much to you there, or may be off. So just keep that in mind. But I'll click OK. So now we see it auto justifies, or it auto sizes this column. We see now that we have our date here set at Monday, June 9th, 2014. So I'm going to just highlight the rest of these and do a right click, go to Format Cells, and I am going to click that for all of them. So now we know, some of these dates were on a Sunday, probably wouldn't have had many events going on a Sunday, but now we know the specific day of the week that those are occurring in. And again, there's so many different things that we can do here. We could change, let's just look at this and go into some formatting here to show you what we could do on just general text formatting. We could go into an alignment here, and we could change these. Change that text alignment, click OK. So now we see that kind of angled effect that we had before. I'll go back in here and format some more, and we'll go back into again, there's not much you can really do with the text, but we can change the font, and we can change the font color if we wanted to change that font color to make it red. We could have all that font as red. We could put some background on there. So right click again, Format Cells, and let's go into Fill. And let's say we want to fill all of our cells with this kind of little light peach color or whatever. So we could do that. So now we have that row or that column filled with a different color. Doesn't make much sense here. Perhaps that would be better suited if we did something like that up here in our heading. So we'll go into Format Cells, and again in Fill, and we'll add just a little bit darker peach color there just to give it some flair. So a lot of different stuff that you can do, but one of the neatest things about formatting is conditional formatting. So we have here some scores. Now this may be scores from a project group, or maybe a speech contest, or something like that, or whatever else you may have going on in the county. Maybe agents keeping up with cattle producer numbers in the county, or the number of cattle that producers have in the county, whatever it may be. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this whole column here and go into conditional formatting. Now a lot of this stuff that we can do, we can mouse over and get an idea of what we're looking at. So what this gradient fill does is it looks at all of the data, or all the data that we've entered in this column, and it will give us a visual effect. And the different colors just really kind of tell us, the first part is a gradient fill, so you can get that nice little fade into white there, if you want to, or green color, red, purple, blue, and orange, or orangish yellow. And then the bottom here are just some solid colors. You can go into more rules and simply adjust this a little bit if you wanted to. You can change just about every aspect of it, but the bottom line, or the basics of what we're trying to do here, are just add some sort of visual effect. So I'll just click on one of these so you can see. So you see here that it's recognizing that 100 was the highest score that we had, and it's adjusting these bars based on everything up to 100. Now some of this can get a little bit hard to read, as those bars will infringe upon some of the text that we have, so that could be a little cumbersome to read there. Alright, we're going to go in here and look at the highlight cells rules now. So say we want to look at everything that's less than a specific number. Like if they didn't make a specific grade on a test, then we're going to need to have them retake it. And we just need say we got a lot more than 17 entries. We need something that we can look at pretty quick and know. So I'll click on less than. And what this will do is it'll go ahead and look through here, through our data, and find kind of a great breaking point for us. So it's telling us anything less than 66 is going to be light red fill with dark red text. Now we can change that to yellow fill, green fill, light red fill simply just with black text, red text only, red border, custom, or we can do some custom formatting. So I'm going to click in here and type, let's say anything less than 50. So anything less than 50 is going to be highlighted with light red fill and dark red text. So I click OK. Now obviously everything down here all the way down is filled because we don't have anything there. I could have avoided that by simply clicking and highlighting only these rows, going in here and then highlight cells less than, let's say 55, and clicking OK. So now everything less than 55 only in our data set is going to have that red. So again, it's just a quick and easy visual. So we'll undo that and go back in here, take a look at. There's so much you can do here. Top bottom rules, we could do the top 10 items if we wanted to. So the top 10 items are formatted. Maybe we want to do those in green instead of red, since being in the top 10 is usually a good thing. Maybe it's not always. So again, just so many things that you can do if you just get in here and play with it. But one of the things I want to show you is this icon set. So as I mouse over this icon set, as you can see here, I left the formatting from our top 10 here to where the green is highlighted. So if I go into the icon set, it's going to keep that formatting for us. So we can break it into thirds to where there's a top, middle range, and then a lower range. We can do shapes. I can do flags if I wanted to. Flags would be a pretty neat thing to do. We could do stars if we wanted to. So let's say that we wanted to do stars, and let me undo that formatting just to get out of that so everything's clear. So I'll highlight this again and go back into our conditional formatting, click on icon set, and I'm going to select on, well, I didn't mean to do that. Conditional formatting, icon set. I'm going to select more rules. Let's say, for example, that we want to show these icons but not have the actual score visible. Okay, so if I wanted to do that, I can click on show icon only and then come down here in the drop down and select what I want to do, and I'm going to go with the stars. Okay, so now with the stars, I can also go in and set what the breakpoints are. So a full star is given to anything that is greater than or equal to a 67 uh, based on percent, and I can change that to a number if I want. That won't really change our um, it won't really change our scores here, but it's basing everything off of this 100 that's in there. So I could also say, I could change that to say, I want that to be a 70. So anything 70 and above will get this full star. Anything that's less than 70 or greater than 33 is going to get this half star, and then anything less than 33 is going to be the half star. So I'm going to change that to a 40, gets the half star, and then click OK. So now when I do that, I only see the icons. Okay, so if I was posting this or wanted to take a snapshot or import this somewhere and I didn't want people seeing what the score was, then I could always come in here and adjust that. Now if I click in the cell, I will actually see the scores or the numbers in the formula bar. So we're not totally getting rid of those numbers. It's only going to be a visual representation in here. So one last thing that I want to show you was that that formatting on phone numbers. So let's say we have a phone number here, 615-832-8341. That's my office phone number. Let's say that we wanted to format that to be a phone number. Now if I had a bunch of phone numbers in here, I could highlight this whole column here, but I just have this one, so I'm going to highlight this, right click, go into Format Cells, click on the number, again click on Special down here, and I will click on phone number. So when I do that, what it'll do is it'll put the area code in parentheses and then put a hyphen there in between the first two or in between the two sets of numbers for the phone number. Now as you notice here, when I look at the formula bar, that is not in there. As well as when I double click to actually get the raw data that's in this cell, it takes out those parentheses and that comma. So that's only the raw data that's actually in there. It's just adding some formatting to make that look good. So if you wanted to go through here and just input numbers really quickly without having to put the hyphens, you could do that really easily. And then again, highlight this whole row or whole column, Format Cells, Special, phone number, okay, and there we go. And again, that phone number is the actual raw data is here, is actually in the cell, but when we click off we see some nice formatting. Alright, so that does it for our formatting class or video. We'll be back with more soon.